who's really, really helped us is Hoof Prints on the Heart. And I have to say, I couldn't think of a better theme for this program, because these hoof prints are on our hearts now, and they will always be on our hearts. And the things that we've gained from this program is immense. I always call it a God wink that we got there, that we were into this program. And through the horses and through understanding our horse, who her name is Kodak, she's the sweetest thing on this earth. We love her dearly. It's hard to imagine unless you go through the program what an inspiration, what a different feeling you get, because we go out to the farm and we're in another world. We're out there, it makes a difference. The first time we went out there, all we talked about was going home, is how happy we felt. And it just brought a joy to our life, and it's hard to understand. And I guess if you're a horse person, you do understand. But if it wasn't for this program, I don't see how we would ever come in contact with a horse, even to pet a horse or be near a horse. But she's made a big difference in our life.
I got nothing to say, she said it all. All my looks are shot. This program has really helped us out. The horse is sending me to the bank every week to get carrots. My wife goes to Aldi's when they get on sale, 59 cents, and I gotta buy a whole big box of carrots. And now it wasn't just our horse, she's feeding every horse down here. She knows them all by name, and as soon as they see her coming, they all start turning their heads like, you got the carrots this week? They know how you feel. I never realized that. If you have a bad feeling, they feel bad. If you have a good feeling, they feel good. And they understand how you're actually feeling. If you're down, they're down. And so anyhow, with this program, it's something wonderful. And I hope they keep it up. But there's a lot of people out there that need the help. And I hope they all get it. Thank you.
My name is Jim. I'm a Navy veteran. Vietnam, 66, 67. I've been going out to Hoof Prints on the Heart, Gold Gate Farm, for a year now. The therapy out there is pretty amazing. I haven't ridden any horse either yet, John. If you saw the size of my horse, you might understand. When I started going out there, I was scared to death of horses. They were gigantic beasts. And Jenny's horse, Maverick, came up to me, and next thing I know, he's nudging me with his head and getting acquainted with me, and he became my therapy horse. And now, when I go out and spend some time with Maverick, I go right to sleep at night. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. It's like taking a sleeping pill. I go out there and spend an hour with him, and when I go to bed that night, I go right to sleep. I can't explain it. And he is so in tune to my needs and what I want and how I feel, and we formed a bond that's just inseparable. It's inseparable. I can't get enough of him.
Hello everyone, my name is Walter. I'm a Vietnam veteran, Army, 1969-1970. And as all the veterans up here, when we came home, we fought another war, unfortunately. Anyway, I want to say thank you to Jenny. She's a lifesaver, okay? She saved a lot of vets. I just got a couple of real quick stories. I'm from Brooklyn. I didn't know what a horse looked like, pretty much, okay? We were on concrete, and the only time we saw a horse was if we went to the rodeo, or if we went to Coney Island, where the pony rides were. And I experienced the pony ride, but when I went to the pony ride, my mom brought me, the horse was pretty big. He didn't look like a pony to me, but anyway, I got on him, and we went around the ring one time. Second time around, he bucked up, and I fell off the horse, kind of lost my breath. I don't want to ever see a horse again. But then I met Blue, okay? Blue is an older gentleman horse. has beautiful blue eyes. We have bonded unbelievably. If I get near the barn and I yell his name, he puts his neck out like he's looking for me. But Jenny, you're a lifesaver, and it really it immensely helped me. Without a doubt, the best therapy, best medication that we could receive is by Jenny, and God bless you.
My name's Tony. I'm a United States Marine. I served from 74 to 77. Last official battle in the Vietnam War, which is Cambodia, Koh Tang. The lady over there mentioned the Miigwes. First time since I've been out of the service I've ever heard anybody mention about the Miigwes. So that was pretty sharp. You know, I've, like a lot of us, you know, post-traumatic stress disorder. I didn't find out until 40 years that I had it. And so needless to say, I lived a pretty screwy life. To 3 inpatient hospitals. I started taking direction to try to change my life because I couldn't be who I was anymore. And I kept putting one foot in front of the other. And then one day, in one of my meetings, Jenny was there with equine therapy. And I try to do anything to change in who I am. And so I went, and when I had to do the interview with her, you know, you had to tell her some, you know, some deep, dark secrets about yourself. And I was like, God, man, she never gonna work with me. And but she didn't run away from me. And she said, I'm not scared of you. You know? And I'm like, okay. And so she started working with me, and I met some horses. I worked with Maverick. We went to the inside corral. I took him off the harness, his lead, and the bum took off on me, kicked his boat legs up, and he didn't want nothing to do with me. So I told Jimmy I don't want to work with that horse no more. Jimmy could have it. That's Jimmy's horse. And so as I was walking around in the barn, checking out all the horses, I came up to this one horse, and I went to pet her, and she went to bite me. And I said, I want to work with that horse. And that horse is Tia Marie. That's Golden Gate's owner's horse. She does a lot of dressage. She's a beautiful horse. She's not in a program. She's only my horse because I'm special, they tell me. And Tia and I, you know, when I first got there, I had anger issues, trust issues, hypervigilance. And what I found out through Jenny, you know, a horse, they're prey. And they're always looking out for predators, just like the veterans do. We're always on guard. We're looking out over our shoulders, never trusting anything, looking for exits. And Jenny explained that to me, and my job was to calm down Tia. And at first I worked with Tia, and she didn't want to do nothing with me. It's because she was picking up on my emotions. And I told Jenny, okay, let's put it back in the stall. I'll go get another horse. I don't got time for this. So the first thing I started learning was patience, you know? And so I work with Jenny, and I also work with Jackie. I recently got Tia on a trailer, which normally takes 4 hours. It only took me 45. And before I did it, Jackie, she shook my hand and she says, I'll tell you what, if you could get Tia on that trailer one time, the first time, she's your horse, but you have to keep it at the farm. I says, no problem. I got the horse, walked right onto the trailer, and there was some alfalfa a little farther up, and so I kicked it to get it closer to her. Sorry. And I spooked her, and she went back. And so I was really upset because I would have had her the first time. And so Jackie said I could have half of the horse. And so she says, what half do you want? I said, I'll take the front half, you can have the rear. And, but what I've learned really is I've learned patience, tolerance, and Tia and I really have a special bond. Other than the trainer and the owner, I'm the only one that works with her. I just can't say enough about that horse. When I'm finished with her, it lasts me. There's things I can't say because I'm special, and these other veterans might get mad. But so it lasts me all week, and I really look forward of seeing Tia. You know, I got more pictures of hugging Tia than I have of hugging my wife, and my wife knows it too. But it has changed me tremendously, you know, with patients, caring for something. You know, I didn't really care for anybody.
So my name's Melissa. I'm probably the youngest up here. I like to call myself the new generation of veterans. I am from the Operations Iraqi Freedom. I spent from 2002 to 2012, 10 years in. I was a military police officer with the Army. I spent almost a little bit over 3 years in Baghdad, Iraq, fighting the war. My second tour I was injured and I was disabled out of the military. When I came back though, I think one of the biggest things when I came back is I went into the traditional route of therapy, where I went to inpatients and they said, well, the more you talk about it, the better it'll get. And I said, okay. So I'd go to these meetings every week and I talk about it, and I talk about it. And they'd say, well, you're not dealing with it because you don't cry. And I said, well, I'm not crying because I've already dealt with it. Now tell me how I'm supposed to live my life with it. Well, you'll live your life because you'll reprogram your brain. I said, I don't think I'm a computer. I don't think I ever can reprogram my brain. I said, the only way I'll ever reprogram my brain is if I get amnesia and I don't remember the things that I've seen or done or heard. And I would go, and 2-3 years into my therapy, I'm like, this is just not working. And you become very hopeless. One of the problems with my generation of veterans is we got thrown into the workforce. So I work my 9-to-5 job, and there's no programs out there for me. It's very difficult for me to get counseling. It's very difficult for me to see a psychiatrist because everything with the VA is 9 to 5. So I kind of hit my rock bottom, and some gentleman next to me was actually in one of my groups and said, you know, why don't you try horse therapy? And I'm like, a what a therapy? I said, do you want me to go play with a horse? I was like, you know, I think I've heard it all now. Between medications, let's talk till we're blue. You know what, why don't you take a deep breath, everything will be okay, and that will make your PTSD better. Or, you know, let's just keep talking about it. And I said, you know what, at this point, I don't think anything else could be worse, so I'm gonna go play with a horse. I'm a city girl. The only horses that I've ever seen were the ones that were in parades, and I stood behind a barrier at a safe distance. I think when I first went to my first session, I stood like 10 feet away from the horse because I was so afraid it was gonna step on my toe. But I actually have to say, you know, I was a little apprehensive at first, and I go once a week, and I work with Blue also, and he's a great horse, and it's hard to describe what it brings to you, but I try to tell all my younger veterans that I know that it's different. It's different because you're not there to forget what you've done. You're not there to, as the VA likes to tell you, reprogram your brain. There is no reprogramming your brain. We're not computers. We might be computers and robots when we're in the military, but when you get out, you have real feelings, and you need to know how to deal with those feelings. And that's the best part about horse therapy, is it doesn't teach you that I'm going to reprogram you. I'm going to tell you how you really should act. It teaches you that the way you act is okay, but it gives you a positive outlet to deal with those feelings. And I think that's what really takes it apart from the normal therapy that you go through, is you talk and talk and talk, but it doesn't teach you how to deal with those. It's only supposed to teach you how to deal with the things you've seen. But the difference with the horse therapy is it teaches you how to deal with your life. Instead of all those breathing techniques that the VA teaches you and the meditation, I'd rather brush a horse. And it works. I tell her every time I go to therapy and I go home, it's the only night during the week that I sleep good. And it's because you relax. Blue is an interesting horse. He has his quirky moments. He'll know when I'm aggravated, and he'll purposely push me. But he'll also know when I'm letting it all out. And the best part about it is, unlike when you go to talk therapy and they're like, you know, let me know how you feel this week. And you say everything and they're like, okay, well tell me how that's made you feel. I just told you how that made me feel. How am I supposed to feel? Oh, you're not supposed to feel those feelings. We're gonna retrain you. And I'm like, I did this for 3 years and I'm still feeling the same things. I don't know if this is working. But it's different when you're with a horse, because it's tell me how you feel, and the horse either will tell you that's okay to feel, and he'll give you a symbol, like he'll start yawning. So you telling him how you feel and getting it out, and he starts yawning kind of lets me know that's good. I'm doing what I'm supposed to. But if I start telling him how I feel, I start getting aggravated, he'll push me. And he'll push me and purposely aggravate me, so I have no choice but to calm down. And he's showing me that, yes, you had a rough week, but now is the time to calm down. Don't hold on to it. And he'll work with me until I let it go. That's the difference from, I think, the traditional therapy of sitting in an office and the actual therapy of working with a horse, is it doesn't tell you that the feelings you're feeling are wrong, it tells you how to deal with those feelings. And I think that's the best thing I get out of the horse therapy is that it shows me my feelings are wrong. It shows me how to deal with the feelings. And I think that's the best part. So that's pretty much all I got.
Hi, my name is Richard. I was in the Marine Corps 66, 67, 68. As the veterans who went to war in Iraq, they all came home, most of them in groups. And Vietnam veterans became a lone individual. And once we got off the plane, we didn't know nothing. I've been in and out of therapy for the last 20 years. People ask me now when I was in Vietnam, I tell them last night, and they still don't know what I mean. I'm thankful that Tony over here told me about the equine therapy. My first day, I went up there with my wife, Debbie, and I was really nervous, anxious, depressed. My anxiety was through the roof. Lou knew it. He didn't come close to me. And as the sessions continued weekly, Lou got more and more friendly with me. He knew my anxiety was down. He knew my feelings were okay. And I was at a peaceful calm. And like Melissa says, they'll yawn. They'll tell you when you're doing great. I hug the horse now, I put my head on it, I hear the heartbeat. And for people that have babies and stuff, when you hear the heartbeat, you say, oh, ain't that nice? Well, same thing with the horse. You feel their heartbeat and their mannerism. And the horse, I don't know if everybody knows it, but the horse is the only mammal with the largest eyes. No other mammal has eyes as big as a horse. So they see everything, and they can pick up on your feelings, and they know when you're feeling bad. And believe me, I've had my ups and downs. I've been in and out of the hospital for the last 2 years. Now I got a whole different outlook in life.